Okay, here we have Ethereum versus Bitcoin, of which being requested by Mr. Jackassman. We'll start off here with the Bitcoin pair, and then we'll move on to the US dollar pair. So obviously these are going to naturally be different. Last time we looked at it, we did say a short-term bounce, which we're kind of getting right now. And then if you are going to be bearish on this, which, you know, to be fair, does still have lower highs and will have lower highs as long as it's below about 6.9 million Satoshis, you know, would theoretically be looking for a rejection somewhere between about let's call it 6.8-ish to 6.9 million Satoshis. So I do think that this one carries out a bit more of a bounce. We do have, or do we have, we don't have, or we do not have bullish divergence. We do see volatility is very, very low. And on the short-term time frames, like a 4-hour, we also don't have anything to really go off of, or at least that I'm looking at right here. I know that you're asked about it weekly as well. We'll get to that soon enough, but I do think that this one could very easily bounce up towards like 6.8, 6.9 million Satoshis. But of course, you know, this is a bearish redistribution pattern as long as you are operating on lower highs. And I'd say at minimum, earliest that I'd let go of that is just above 6.9 million Satoshis. If that does happen, I'd start to confirm this as a major, maybe even macro low looking at the weekly. With targets back up towards, you know, 7.5 million Satoshis, which is a big number, big move on this. But for right now, I'm not seeing anything that's like super obvious. The super obvious thing is the breakdown level. So just like I wouldn't confirm a major reversal here, except for like a short-term upside move, you know, above about 6.9.5 million Satoshis. The downside, I would confirm a major continuation event below 6.4.5 million Satoshis. That would have a technical target all the way down towards 5.7 million Satoshis. And of course, that would be right in alignment with the monthly 21, which that would be, you know, also playing out the bearish divergence that we did see on the monthly RSI right there too. So, you know, I do think the downside is actually a bit more likely in this case for Ethereum Bitcoin. That is not the same thing as Ethereum USD. We'll get to that soon enough, but looking at stochastic momentum on Ethereum Bitcoin, weekly actually will point up above 6.8.5 million Satoshis. So actually still quite below there, to be fair, right now. Well, and then the monthly is pretty fucking awful there, below about 7.5 million Satoshis. So daily is up. So again, short term, I do think that you play at a bit of a bounce. If the bounce fails to get about above those critical regions, I'm looking for it to fail into the following months, and you know, high probability of playing out that move to the downside. Until then, I guess, you know, hopium does remain a bit alive, but you know, it is kind of hopium right now until those confirmations are met. Looking at Ethereum versus the dollar, monthly not super hot, daily still not super hot as well. A little bit weaker than even Bitcoin in this case. On the short term, getting rejection a little bit lower. The good things, I guess, is that you got daily regular bullish divergence, but you know, I don't really even look at this one as doing anything of particular interest to the upside as long as you're below 2850. 2850, that is on a daily closure. Above 2850 is the earliest point at which I'd call a major low potentially in, with targets back up towards 3200. And even from there, while I do think things would have a short-term pullback, they very likely don't stop there, because that would naturally confirm another drive of, not that, but hidden bullish divergence on the weekly RSI and a rejection of the bullish controls, in which would have natural targets up towards 3,800 for the shallow target, and actually more like 41 to 4,200 for the deeper target there. Until then, you know, this is still lower highs, and we will have, at least in the way that I look at things, a confirmation of a breakdown with a daily closure below 2450. Below 2450, I do look for this one to retest your January lows at 2100. Probably another short-term bounce there, and probably just that, you know, a short-term bounce before long-term continuation back down to your July summer lows of last year in the upper the upper thousands, I'd say. Let's just see if anything's of particular obviousness over here. Daily stochastic momentum will turn up above 2537. Okay, not bad. 5-day will turn up above 2562. You know, well above there right now as well. And bi-daily will be up above about 2500. So very much in alignment with what we see on Bitcoin for the US dollar pairing, as you would expect. I'd kind of be looking at Bitcoin for range resolutions over Ethereum, just because I think Bitcoins are more obvious, and then kind of play out those same moves on Ethereum, respectively speaking. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. There you go for Ethereum, man. Short term probably does play out a little bit more of a bounce here, to be fair. If you do see a full hour back above the 9th of March high, I would actually be saying that this one probably does have a good chance of busting on through to the upside. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful, man.